I'm Earl Stuart. I welcome you to Earl Stuart on Cars Mystery Shopping Report. Okay, Maserati of Stuart, for you folks that are not familiar with South Florida, that's at Southeast Florida. It's not as rough and tumble nasty as Fort Lauderdale and Miami, but it's still to beware. Anywhere on the southeast coast or South Florida, you have to be careful. Maserati, of course, is a luxury car, and we find typically that treatment of the wealthier car buyer with the luxury car tends to be nicer, more transparent than the other average car. I'm going to speak in the first person as if I were Agent Lightning, who is our superstar undercover agent. I arrived at the dealership mid-afternoon and was greeted as soon as I walked onto the showroom floor by a customer service representative who asked if there was anything she could do to help me. I replied that I really liked the Maserati out front and I would like to take a look at it. She said, "Our salesman, River," just like it sounds, like Mississippi, R-I-V-E-R. River would be happy to help you. River told me I'll go and grab the keys real quick, and then we could take a look. As we walked back outside, River mentioned that they were having a huge sale. Have you ever gone to a car dealership that wasn't having a huge sale? They're having a huge sale on their cars, and we're discounting this particular model by $12,000 because it was one of their year-end models. Again, standard operating procedure. All car dealers are having sales. All car dealers have huge discounts, and they won't last long. You know, if you bought a car before, or you should know about this. River then asked, would you like to take it for a test drive? I answered, yes, please. This is one of these areas where I happen to agree with the car salesman at the car dealership. You should always test drive the car. And of course, the car dealer does it and the salesman does it because they want you to fall in love with that new car smell and the new car and get excited and get emotional and throw logic to the wind and make a mistake in their favor. That's their method for the test drive. The real reason for you is all cars are different. And you'd be surprised. You could take two new cars, exact same year, make, and model, and drive the two cars. You'll find a little difference in them. So don't ever, absolute rule, buy a used or new car without a test drive. And I also think it should be an extensive test drive. Going around the block won't cut it. You should ask before you buy. Maybe not at the beginning, but before you buy, sign on the dotted line. You should drive a car for at least a day, maybe 2 days. And you should drive it on the expressway, in the rural areas. You should drive it in the city. All driving conditions that you typically encounter, you should drive that vehicle. You will save yourself a lot of heartache if you do that. Too many people assume that they had a new Camry they bought 5 years ago, and they're buying another new Camry, and everything's going to be the same. Ain't so. I mean, visibility, a lot of things that can change after they offer the test drive. I took advantage of it. Salesman River requested my license and excused himself to go inside to grab the keys. The car was parked out at the front of the building, so after a moment, River pulled it out. Jokingly, I told him not to wreck my new car before I buy it. He just laughed and was a perfect gentleman, though he did make me feel old with his ma'am references. Once he had it ready, he opened the driver's door for me, closed it behind me, and then directed me to pull onto US 1 and head south, suggesting we do a big loop. I agreed, tested the different drive modes while asking questions about features of the warranty. This particular 2024, remember this is 2025, that's a big facto, and you don't want to forget that. This particular 2024 Grecale Maserati did not have adaptive cruise control or a sunroof, but it did come with a 4-year, 50,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty. River mentioned that the next trim level had all those features and more. It was priced at $93,000. That's a lot of potatoes. With $14,000 discount. Whoa, big discount. Compared to this one at $78,000 with a $12,000 discount. Once we returned to the dealership, we headed to River's office near the front of the showroom. He pulled out a copy of my license he had made earlier and asked if all the information was correct so that he could calculate the proper taxes. After putting my details, he excused himself to speak with his sales manager and print out pricing. A few minutes later, River came back, handed me several options, including a lease for 42 months and 10,000 miles per year. There were 3 worksheets, and I always comment on lease quotes. That could get real expensive, and the cost per mile overage on a lease contract, it can be from 8 or 10 cents a mile to up to 50 cents a mile. Yes, I have seen advertisements on new cars leases that sounded really good with up to 50 cents a mile for overage. So before you lease any car, see the lease contract they're going to ask you to sign and see what the over mileage is, and then ask yourself, is that going to happen to me, or can I drive within the allowable mileage? There were 3 worksheets, and it was a blur of numbers. The lease option broke down the pricing, showing that I was getting $14,000 of rebates and discounts, but then getting charged at least $2,721 in junk fees. The second worksheet was a purchase structured to get the special 3.99 annual percentage rate interest rate, and of course that's offered by Maserati, a factory offered subsidized interest rate, and typically that is legitimate when offered by the manufacturer. I lose if I take the 3.99%, $3,500 in cash incentives, and again, that's typical. Typically, all these low interest rates offer you either or cash back or the low interest rate. This worksheet showed me that I was getting $8,500 in rebates and discounts. The same junky fees were added. The final worksheet showed a cash deal structured with a standard APR. In this case, I was getting $12,000 in discounts and rebates, and as was the case with the other proposals, they added nearly $3,000 in junk fees. Incidentally, the junk accessories included permaplate, that's a wax, and nitrofill was the air that you breathe. So they're charging you an extra $3,000 to wax the car and put nitrogen in your tires. I mean, for a luxury car dealer, people, these are intelligent people buying your car, and you're going to tell them that you're asking $3,000 for a polish and air in your tires. Nitrogen is 78% air.
How embarrassing.
Air in your tires. Then he asked, how soon are you planning on buying? I answered, soon. He followed by asking if it would be okay for his manager to come over and say hello. We walked toward one of the sales managers whose name I unfortunately forgot, and River introduced us. The manager asked, how did River do today? Must be kind of a new guy. Then he said, are you going to make a decision soon? Our end of the month is actually today, and we're not sure what sales or incentives will be available tomorrow. This is something you will also hear from most dealers, whether it's the end of the month or not, and whether they'll give you a discount or not. This is what the manager does to slow you down. They could take away offers for 2024 models or switch them to the 2025 models. There's no way of knowing. They're trying to what Maserati will do. I don't disagree with that, by the way. The dealers oftentimes don't know what the manufacturer's going to do, so that's a half-truth. I thank both of them for their time and help, letting them know I'd be in touch. They added that all their cars come, that's where I just found out what I just told you, nitrofill tires and permaflate protection already installed, pre-installed accessories. The second biggest ripoff in the auto industry, dealer-installed accessories, which they tell you that can't be taken off. The number one, of course, are junk fees. So there we are. And we're in the voting area, and we want to know, on average, how would you rate Maserati of Stuart?
For me, my grade for it is C.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and vote, and I'm going to give them a D minus.
My vote is a C.
C.
Hi, this is Earl Stewart. Thank you for watching this video. If you would like to be notified of new videos that we post to our YouTube channel, simply click on the subscribe button and the bell icon in the lower right-hand side of the screen.